Of course, people need goals. We need to foresee the future, and setting goals and strategies helps us to do so, even with our products or services. They need to have a roadmap of where they're going. But the basic thing is that it should be, for the best if marketing strategies would derive from products and services themselves. We need to ask ourselves a simple question: what are we here for? What does our product deliver to the world that is great, that is different? And this genetic code of our endeavors, this genetic code of our products and services is somehow already a compass of what our branding, marketing strategies should be. And then, of course, it is very nice to get great partners, great communication partners and allies. And I think that, advertising agencies are also the last resorts where you get these crazy ideas, crazy thinking, and when you merge those two worlds, you can get incredible results. Yes, I think that the main question remains how to cut through this clutter, this noise, this saturation of the market, where we see, so many campaigns, so many ideas, so many new products and services emerging that it feels just overwhelming, and some people just want to give up. But at the other hand, modern technologies enable us solutions that bring us closer to our audiences, to our consumers in a way that was previously unimaginable. So with also development of like micro careers where you get, a digital copywriter with just one phone call who is at your disposal and has a great knowledge. It is also possible, for small and medium businesses to create very creative, very efficient campaigns that are not missing in terms of trends or what is effective and what is not, but are like bulletproof campaigns that work brilliantly on the market. The answer to that question is short and simple. It is, of course. We were dealing with an epidemic of burnout way before the actual corona crisis, but the angst and circumstances of this recent crisis have only put this issue on steroids. Of course, it is our own responsibility to make ourselves happy in life, but of course there should be systemic solutions to what is happening in the area of mental health. And I am really proud that both of my books sort of helped democratize our, let's say, coughing up of our issues, allowing ourselves not to be too strong all the time, allowing ourselves to be just human beings that get damaged, that cannot be workaholic machines. And so by now many companies, before they were a bit reserved concerning this topic, are inviting me to speak to their employees, to work on their culture and relationships that of course need some configuring, because modern relationships are really fast, they are really superficial, and many times they lack trust, they lack collaboration, which is very basic for us as human beings. And then there's of course the question of government and how to systemically raise questions about this area and problem solving. And so this is an expanding issue, it is an evolving issue, and I'm glad that so many companies and officials are taking part in it. Yes, it's both. But the thing with small and medium enterprises is that most of the time, they're reliant on one person, you know, one CEO, one boss, one chief executive who is both the owner, the employee, has a team or a broader team, but then, you know, things get clogged up with him because he's overburdened, or he and she, of course, both male and female bosses, with too much responsibility, and they tend to also feel the pressure that they are leading the team in the right way, that they establish a positive working culture, many times compromising their own health, you know. So this is one aspect. But then on the other hand, you know, bigger companies are facing different issues, because it's far harder to change a company culture overnight. You know, these are big systems. There are very complicated ways of communicating and hierarchies and stuff like that. So it is far easier for them to, you know, quickly establish something. But it is more probable that because of their size and maybe their budgets, they have access to sort of experts on this field, like therapists, like coaches that come in and help them with their teams and turning stuff around. But I think that, you know, endeavors in terms of being a better employer and also intimately being a better employee meet at a certain point, and at that point, you know, when we contribute to that all other efforts that are going on, you know, there are, I don't know, hundreds of courses of how to feel better, of how to overcome burnout, of how to, I don't know, be self-involved, then this becomes a culture or sort of a revolution where we are changing the experience of what is being human in this era of, I don't know, career brutalism, in this era of exhausting yourself and constantly proving your value. So there is something a bit bigger actually going on if you can take a look from above. In the 80s, burnout was called a managerial disease, you know, that it would affect managers only because they were overstressed and overburdened, you know, but the truth is that, of course, everyone collapses. Burnout is a part of our lifestyles, and it has increased, as I've said earlier. Types that are more prone to burnout are, of course, people who seek external validation, who were brought up to be responsible from an early age on, who were brought up to be diligent, brave and worthy, and constantly actually prove their value. One of their other traits is, of course, handling a lot of responsibility, handling a lot of pressure, and also being very creative or innovative. And this type of experts or people tend to go over themselves so many times. I know this because I'm speaking from my own experience, that at a certain point you just cannot get up anymore, and then you start wondering, oh my God, how did this happen? You know, I was a superhero 2 weeks ago. Now look at me. You know, and if someone would tell me, you know, that I would to burn out, I know 5 years ago, I would just, you know, laugh at his face and say, oh, sorry, I'm a Superman. You know, so yes, people who tend to be superheroes, you know, in their positions, in their jobs, who say, this can never happen to me, are probably the ones that are going to get acquainted with this sort of experience. What we tend to do is that we catastrophize. We keep thinking, oh my God, if I work less or if I take more vacation, nobody can replace me. This is irresponsible towards our clients, our partners. And so we end up with more work, no vacation, no stress relief. And of course, this becomes a problem. And then when we over-evaluate, our position or how we matter to the company, we tend to forget that when we are relaxed, when we don't worry as much, we are not only better employers, but we tend to be better humans as well, better parents, better partners, better colleagues. And the idea of exhausting yourself until the very end is something that we must learn how to overcome. And I would really strongly suggest that managers or people in general do more therapy, because therapy helps you figure out some patterns that inhibit you and that are slowly pushing you closer to the edge, and at some point it goes over the edge. And that shouldn't happen, because there are these invisible scripts in our minds that say, oh, you must work or you won't be appreciated. This is how our family has been working for centuries, But we must feel free, guilt-free, to abandon these scripts and these demands, and let us be, human beings. And this means that we have to rest, that we have to have capacity to think in peace or to have fun at the end of the day, And so overcoming being these workaholic machines is a struggle, but it helps with our lives. Unfortunately, modern technologies have helped improve many areas of our lives and our businesses. But this has led to hyperconnectivity, and they have also forced upon us the demand to be constantly available. Today we feel irresponsible if we don't respond to every single phone call or every email. And we do so at midnight or 6 a.m. in the morning. And most of the time we start answering and responding with the sentence, "I'm sorry, I didn't reply to you any sooner." And this is wrong, because people aren't made to be constantly available, constantly at someone else's disposal. So we need to treat technologies differently, as something that is in service to us, and not as something that we are their subjects, and that our lives are actually imprisoned because of this immense progress in terms of modern technology. So being able to switch off, to turn off notifications for the weekend or at 5 in the afternoon is something that we must learn how to, again, to allow ourselves, And this allowance is going to contribute that, again, we become, better people, and we understand business as something that is not just a terrain for, proving ourselves or achieving some incredible stuff, but something that is just a support system for living a fulfilled life, Because we are now glamorizing these super visionaries that are 24/7, always on, always hustling, always doing something. And this is not right, because most of these people, those super visionaries, have not dealt with childhood trauma, with pain from their past, and so they're escaping from themselves. Not all, but many, through workaholism. And I did too, I was self-healing my disappointments and my anger and stuff I was finding about in therapy later, by self-doctoring with more work, with workaholism. And it led me over the edge.